Hi, this is SAP API from UPlatform. In the last session, I covered the master data for SNP. Today, I am going to cover SNP lifecycle planning configuration, which means that SNP planning, deployment, TLB configuration. Uh, uh, this configuration, which means that SNP lifecycle planning configuration. Just let me open the screen. This is the life cycle planning for the SNP, which is a weekly cycle. This release forecast from DP to SNP. We already know about this step stuff planning. Now in this session, I'm going to cover about the step perform SNP planning run. This one, and once the SNP run is happen, business will review the results. Then next they are going to release. They perform the deployment TLP run, and finally they transfer the result to the OLTP system or ECC system. Today, SNP Heuristics. We already discussed that SNP is nothing but the integration of planning, deployment, and TLB. SNP is the integration of the planning, deployment, and TLB. Under the planning, to perform the planning in SNP, SAP recommended three standard techniques. They are heuristics, CTM, optimizer. Okay, heuristics is an infinite planning, and due to the infinite planning, capacity overload will happen. To overcome this capacity overload, additionally, we had to perform the capacity leveling. Okay, to avoid capacity overloads, we had to perform the capacity leveling. This is a finite planning. CTM, CTM and optimizer both are finite planning. But CTM is a CTM perform the planning depends upon the supply and priority, supply of the demand and priority. Based on the supply of demand and priority, CTM is going to perform the planning. Optimizer. This is also a finite planning. This is work with respect to the cost, which means in simply contemporary is a cost-based planning. But in the most of the projects, we are going to use the heuristics, and I'm going to discuss about the heuristics only. CTM and optimization, CTM and optimization, I'm not going to cover. I'm going to cover only about the heuristics. Once the heuristics done, I'm going to cover about the deployment and TLB. Okay. Come to the heuristic part. Again, in heuristics, we have three types of heuristics. Three types of heuristics are there. Like in DP, for statistical forecasting, we have univariant, multilinear, and univariant MLR and multi-level. Like similarly, we have heuristic CTM optimizer, And in a heuristic, under heuristic, we have some three different types of heuristics are there. Those are location heuristic, network heuristic, multi-level heuristics. These three types of heuristics we have in the SAP APO. But in most of the projects, we are going to use network heuristics, network and location, location and network heuristics. Let me elaborate one by one. Let me discuss one by one on priority. First of all, come to the location heuristics. Location heuristics is nothing but which means before going to start about the heuristic, let me give you some sample example. Sample example is the theoretical information about how the planning is going to be done, performed the SNP side. For example, this is a plant, and this is a DC, and this is the vendor we have. Okay, we have these things. First of all, this is the DC. DC with respect to finish. This is the DC. It has a demand with respect to the finished product and location. This is the plant, and this is the vendor. First of all, this distribution center having the finished product, it makes the request to the plant. I have 2000 quantity as a forecast. With that request, plant is going to generate the 2000 to the 2 month the 2000 quantity with the help of components getting from the vendor to manufacture the finished product. Plant will make will buy the components from the vendor. Once the components are available in the plant will perform the finished product with the help of resource. C1 and C2 are the components. This C1 C2 components get it from the vendor. Once the C1 C2 components are available in the plant, with the help of this C1 C2, plant is going to generate the finished product by using the resource. Okay, this once the stock is available in the plant, finally it's going to distribute to the DC center. Finally it's going to distribute to requested DC. This complete process, that means, which means that DC center make a request to the plant to perform finished product, and plant buys the component from the vendor. Once the plant generates the finished product with the help of resources, this complete process we can call it as a SNP planning. Once the stock is available stock is going to produce to the DC plant, DC location. It's called a deployment. And finally, to confirm the deployment rules are called TLB. Okay, this is the complete SNP. But we already created the master data. We created the product master data, location master data, resource master data, and PPM PDS master data, vendors, and transportation lanes also. We created all master data. But here we have all data. We have all the master data. to perform the planning. Apart from the master data, we need one more input for SNP to perform the planning. That is a forecast, transactional data. That forecast, anyhow, the forecast value is getting from the DP to from you can get the forecast values from the DP from the DP. We already know how to generate how to transfer the forecast from DP to SNP. With that, in that way, we get the forecast values into the SNP. Once the forecast values are available, and with the master data, with all this, we are going to do the planning. To perform the planning, we are using the heuristic engine. Okay. Now we here this plant, this distribution center is making a purchase requisition. Is making purchase requisition to the plant. This DC center makes a purchase requisition to the plant. I have this quantity. I had 2000 quantity as first for the finished product. Can you please produce the 2000 quantity in your plant? Purchase requisition made by this DC center to the plant. Okay, once plant get the request from the DC center from the distribution center. Now the plant is going to do the planned orders. Planned order. How it is going to do the planned order? This plant made a purchase requisition to the vendors to get the components. To get the components, this plant making a purchase requisition. Purchase requisition for component 1 and purchase requisition for component 2. This plant made a purchase requisition to the component 2. Once the components are available in the plant, with that components, plant is going to produce a finished product with the help of resource. Like that, this plant is going to generate the planned orders. Okay. Here, if you come to the point, here inputs are what are the inputs we have for the SNP to do the planning? What are the inputs we have? SNP master data is one input. SNP master is like location, product, resource, PPM, PDS, transportation lines. We already created in the last session. We covered all the master data, how we are going to create the master data in APO, but normally it has to be getting from the ECC to APO with the truth safe. Okay, this is one input, and another input is forecast. These two inputs we need to perform the planning. Okay, and come to the output. Once the planning is done from the SNP side, what are the outputs we get? We get the output as purchase requisition, planned orders, and stock transfer. Sorry, plan orders. This is about for the SNP planning. This is the input and this is the output for the SNP planning. Okay, here planned order. The plant will make a planned order to generate that much quantity. Once that much quantity is available in this plant, that means I now in the plant I have the 2000 quantity. Okay, once that much quantity is available in the plant, now the plant is going to transfer the stock to the respected distribution centers. Okay, what is going plant? Plant is having plant makes the plant order. Now the plant has the requested quantity. Now his plant is ready to transfer the stocks to the requested DC center. This process is called as deployment. Deployment. Here I have one distribution. If I have the multiple DC centers, like that, this plant is going to distribute the stock to the respected DCs. This complete process you can term it as a deployment. In simply term deployment, you can term it as a whatever transferring the stock to the distribution centers. Okay, the deployment. And while transferring the stock to the DCs, SNP created the stock transfers. Okay. This is for planning. For planning, this is the input and output. Next, deployment. For deployment, for deployment, inputs. Here we are not doing any separate deployment. Once the plant perform the planned order, stock is available in the plant. Okay, stock is available in the plant. Once the stock is available, it's going to store under stock in hand key figure. Stock in hand key figure. Once the stock is available and is ready to going to produce to the respected DCs with by raising the stock transfer orders. Okay, this is for deployment. Let me come into the configuration part. See, first of all, what I am doing to perform the SNP planning, first of all, I am going into the SNP interactive planning screen. The T code to access the SNP interactive screen /SNP APO /SNP94. Okay. Here what I'm doing is in the selections. First of all, I'm going to select the location product. First of all, I'm selecting the product locations. Okay. Here, I'm selecting my data. I created my whichever I created master data. I'm going to selecting here. Instead of giving all, what I'm doing is I'm putting TD star with UP. In my master data, everything for product and location master, so everything I started with TD and end with the UP. That's why I put the TD star UP, which means whatever is starting with TD and ending with UP, that all are going to display here. Okay. Yes. If you see here, see finished product under distribution location, finished product under plant, vendor, under vendor, sorry, component 2 under vendor, component 2 under plant, component 1 under plant, component 1 under vendor. They created, and I am going to save, and I'm going to save this in a variant, which means I'm going to select all my created master data in one section profile. Okay, that I name it as a TD star UP. Okay, and then click on save. This was I already created. That's why I'm not going to save here. It's already created from my end previously. This is already created. Once we saved, click on the section profile, search here, TD star UP, drag and drop, save it. And then you get here. Whenever we open the interactive planning, SNP interactive planning, our selected profile is get visible here. Just select instead of creating, just select this. You get the all combination production combination here. Okay. Now what I'm doing is, we know the input for to do SNP planning is forecast and master data. Anyhow, we have master data. Now we want forecast. Normally we get the forecast from ECC to APO. Sorry, from me. Sorry. I'm sorry. Normally get the forecast results from DP to SNP through background jobs. We know that process. Instead of I'm going to the processor, here I'm going to generate it instantly. But in the real time, we normally get it from the background jobs. But for the time being, instead of going to follow the all processing, for time being, here what I'm doing, we have one program like to access to if you have to go into the program, the T code is SA38. We have one SAP standard program to give the forecast only for the SNP is SJKT HT04. Okay, execute. Here, if you see here, forecast category FA, custom BM, customer orders, production orders, shipments. And not only forecast, we can give the production customer orders, production orders, shipments. Okay, but here I'm going to give the forecast only. For which planning area? For SNP planning area. For which location? I have the forecast for the DC center. Forecast value, I have a forecast value for DC center. Okay. Category FA, product number. What is the product? Finished product. Okay. From today to, I want from when to when? From today to up to 60 days. I want the forecast values as 1000 quantity. Execute. Just is executed. Just check the results in the interactive demand planning, interactive SNP planning screen. Select it. Just select the finished product at distribution level center. We get the demand. See, we have the forecast values 1000, 1000, 1000. This is our forecast values. This is the forecast values. Forecast values is generated into the forecast values getting to generate is generated here. If you see here, from fourth on, actually you give as 1,000, but on the fourth day it aggregated as 4,000. Why? Because whatever quantity on the first January, 2nd January, 3rd January, 1st January, there is no production will happen. According to the factory calendar, on 1st January, Saturday, 1st January, Friday, 2nd January is Saturday, 3rd January is a Sunday. And these 3 days are considered as a holidays. These in these 3 days, the forecast will they are not going to produce anything. Plant will not work. Due to that reason, whatever demand is available in these days, this is going to be produced on next Monday. That's why here we get the 4,000. 4,000. If you double click on this, see, four demands. We have four days demand. See, plan independent requirements. Okay, like this. The system is consider the system is system considers the previous demands into a particular day. Now, if you don't want if you don't want to put the all load on the Monday only, if you want to distribute the load on equally to all working days, we have to change for that request. Also, we can do to do this, we have to make a period split. You have to change the period split in the demand profile. The SNP demand profile, we have to change the period split option. Okay. Yeah. Now we get the forecast. We have the forecast. Okay. Now, if you see here we have location, network, multi-level, optimizer, deployment optimizer, deployment, TLB view, like that we have, which means that this is our location heuristic, network heuristic, multi-level heuristic, which means that we can run the heuristic in foreground, either in foreground or background also we can run it. Okay, we can do it in foreground and background also. To do in the background, we have one program I will discuss at the time of network heuristics. First of all, let me check what is the location heuristics. Here, location heuristic means if I select the location heuristics in this area, that means for this location, if I want to run the location heuristic for this distribution center only, the system will consider as a okay, this distribution center will raise only the purchase requisitions to the plant. For this level only we get the information about location heuristics. Okay, if I run the network heuristics, which means network heuristics, which means location, in the simple term, the location heuristic we can term it as a, it is specific to particular location, specific to particular location. Network heuristic, which means it is available to, is applicable to, to all levels, which means this DC center made a purchase into the plant, to the plant, and this plant made a purchase into the vendor. Once the once the components are available, this plant creates a plant orders. This will all get this thing as all is going to cover under network heuristics. if you want to know about for a one particular location, if you don't want the you don't want to consider heuristics for all level. You'd like to go for only for the one particular location level. You can go with the location heuristics. Now, if you want to go for the complete vendors per plant distribution center for complete level, you have to consider the network heuristics. This is the use of this network heuristics and location heuristics. Multi-level heuristics, which means that sometimes this vendor also will make a request for some other vendor. This vendor also make a request. That means this vendor has these vendors don't have the some components, but normally this plant made a contract with these vendors. Whatever they want the components, they get only from this vendor only. But some parts they don't have this. For some components, these vendors don't have. In that case, a vendor will get the component from another vendor. This is also vendor. Some other vendor. Okay. To know the flow of that means this vendor has made a purchase equation to this vendor to get the components. This complete, that means from vendor to vendor. That means the DC makes a purchase equation to the plant, and plant make a purchase into the vendor. Once the components available in the plant will generate the plant orders. This will cover the network heuristics. Additionally, this vendor to vendor will not cover the network heuristics. If you want to cover the vendor to vendor combination, we have to go with the multi-level. Here, vendor to vendor, what they made purchase requisition, they made purchase requisition. This will cover into the multi-level. It is the use of the multi-level heuristics. But normally in the project, most of the projects we are going with the location network heuristics only. Okay. Come to the configuration part. Here, what I'm doing is to run interactively, we have forecast values. First of all, we have to run interactively, we have to go into the display mode, change mode. Sorry, I'm sorry. I will display mode, then she has gone to change mode. Select the, see, this is a finished product location level. This is my demand. For this demand, I'm running the location heuristics. System process on location product. Okay. Here I'm running the for this finished product and distribution center. I'm running the network heuristics. I get some values get updated. I would like to know what are those values. Just double click. If you see here, this is the forecast what we have. This is total demand. This distribution receipt key figure get updated. Once I click on the network heuristic, that means I run the network heuristic. Once I run the network heuristic, this distribution receipt will get updated, which means that if you just click here, just see here, what is this? Is purchase requisition. This is a purchase requisition for this product. Destination location is the distribution center. Okay. 3,000 quantity. Whatever the demand is available, that much quantity is going to be requesting to the plant. It's making a purchase requisition. Similarly, like that. Okay. This will get which will get updated here. Distribution receipt for the plant. If you run the deployment, this confirmed this distribution receipt confirmed will get updated. If you run the TLB, distribution receipt TLB get updated. Okay. Say the results. Now check the plant level. But in the plant level, the plant address has been updated, but is not going to update it from my hand due to some issue. That's for the reason I'm taking some other selections instead of going for that. Okay. Okay. I'm taking the TD05. Yeah, fine. Here I'm taking TD05, TD finished product 05 under distribution location 05. These are my forecast values. Let me run from first onwards, then we get the clear idea. Before going to run, I'm going to delete. Before going to run, I'm going to delete these values. What I'm doing. Okay. Here, what I'm going to do. Here, I'm going to delete the transaction data. That means I would like to go for the new values. That's why I'm going to delete the here. To delete the old values, to delete the old data, we have one program. The program is RLC delete. With this program, we can delete the transaction data directly in the SNP, delete transaction data only. Here I'm selecting the categories. That means here I'm going to delete all categories. That means here the all key figures are category based. That's why I'm selecting the categories. But I don't want to delete the forecast values. Here I'm excluding forecast on FA category. Except forecast, delete all. Okay. Product number. What is the product number here? They're using TD. Yeah, TDFSD05. Okay. Only in APO. And remove the test mode. Execute. Yes. Deleted. Just check in the entire demand planning scheme. To check in the entire demand, you should have to get out from the you have to come out from the planning and load it in. Then only it get updated. Otherwise, it won't get updated. Sorry, I just went into the TD05. If you see here, except forecast, remaining all is get deleted. These are the stock handlers of the world previous values. We are not going to delete here. To do the planning, whatever the here previous distribution, demand distribution, you get all everything get fulfilled. I remove this. Everything will get all values get removed. Okay. Now I have the forecast values. Okay. Now I am going to run the. If you check here, yes, the supply shortage, no issues. Stock on hand, days supply, nothing. Okay, no issues. Yeah. Now I'm going to run the. Yeah. See, I don't have any values regarding for the planned confirmed. I don't have any values. Okay. Now what I'm doing, I have the forecast as a 2000, and now I'm going to run the location heuristic. First of all, I have to go into the display edit mode. Then I click on the location. distribution of 1000 get generated. If you want to see it, if you want, let me run one more time to understand properly. Yeah, what I'm doing is I'm doing to delete this complete again. Yeah, nothing was there. Nothing else there. Okay, nothing. No fields get fulfilled. Save it. Now I'm going to run the location heuristic process. If you see this field, this get distributed 2000. Okay, just click on that, then you get the complete idea. What is this? What about this? If you just select 2000 quantity, we made purchase requisition for this product. This is a source location, plant, destination location is a distribution center. Okay, for 1 month. Okay, I get the quantity. I get the purchase requisition quantity from distribution location to the plant. If you check in the plant with respect to distribution with plant principal with respect to the plant, nothing will get saved. Why? Because here I run only location heuristic, which means that I run at the distribution level only. I ran at distribution level only. Yeah. I ran the I ran the I ran the location heuristic only, which means that for that particular location only they will going to generate the purchase requisition. They don't bother about the plant orders. What the plant will do, they will not consider about that. Okay, this is about location heuristic. For network heuristic, now I'm going to run the network heuristic. Instead of going to run the network heuristic interactively, I'm going to run in background. To do the run in the background, first of all, I have to go into the display mode. If I in the edit mode, it will locking issue will rise. Due to that reason, I'm just I just came to the display mode. Just okay, to run the heuristic in the background. The process is just go to the APO supply network planning, supply network planning in the background. Supply network planning plan. And the T code is a /SAP APO /SNP01. This is the T code. Just double click. Planning book, standard planning book, data view, standard one, global SNP profile, standard one. Here, just give the product name, which product you want to run. TDST for finished product for 05. network heuristic. If you want to run the location, select the location. I'm going to run for the location heuristic. Execute. This is the log. Now check the results in the SNP 94. Just come out from the screen. To check the results, we had to load the planning SNP planning. We had to come out from the SNP planning and we had to load it again. Then only get into refresh. If you click on the refresh, it will not. It won't. The results will not update. So refresh the result. We had to come out from the planning book and we had to log. We had to again log into the SNP planning book. Now check the results. For the distribution center level, we have the results as we have the results as the distribution receipts, and I check the results at the plant level. In the plant level, we have the results, but it not get updated. Okay, fine. Yeah, we have the planned orders. Distribution demand planned. If you double click on this, stock transport. Which means, yes, this plant for this product, this is a source location. That means plant ready. Plant has the quantity and is ready to transfer the stock to the respected, so to the requested distribution center. This will get updated, and this is about the heuristics. And if you have to run the deployment, that means you would like to deploy our deployment. But in the deploy, if you want, but in the deployment, we have the stock. That means once, if you want, just go. Once the stock is available in the plant, then only it's going to send to the distribution center. But normally in the real time, once the plant is available, sorry, when the stock is available, once the plant generated that much stock, that much quantity, we're transferring this result to the ECC system. In the ECC system, they will make the production orders and they create the stocks. Finally, we get the stocks from the ECC to the APO. Once the stock is available in the APO, that stock is going to be going to transfer to the requested DCs. Here the deployments will be performed. Okay. To do this, we need the stock. The stock is going to store in a stock on hand. This stock we are getting normal in real time. We are getting the stock is from ECC to APO through SIF. But here, the stock we get it with the program. We have one program to get the stock also. The program. We can, if you have any doubt on the program, that means if you don't know about the program, we just get the program by simply extract SAP APO store execute. We get these are all production, these are all the programs we have in the system. Yeah, here we get the SNP planning results. You get the SNP planning results, and additionally we get the SNP planning results. Just a minute. Yeah, here we get the planning results. We already discussed that a heuristic is infinite planning. Due to this infinite planning, heuristic will not consider the capacity of the resource. Whatever the capacity of the resource, whatever demand, for example, let me note this pen one more time. See, whatever total demand is available in the SNP, the total demand is 2000. Whatever the total demand is available in the SNP, that much demand is ready to going to produce with the help of heuristic. It will not bother about the resource, but the resource has a capacity only 2000 per day. But here we have the demand as 6000. Heuristic will not consider the capacity of the resource. It will work with respect to demand. Due to this, the capacity will get overloaded. That means the capacity of the resource will get overloaded. To rectify that, we have to do the capacity planning. For that, just we have a data viewer's capacity plan. Just click on this capacity check. Just take the resource. Here we have to take the resource. Consider the resource. Instead of product, select the resource. Plant is location is doesn't seem no issues. Just put the TD star 05. Just set. Yeah, this is the resource we have. Select that one. But normally, if any resource gets fulfilled, mm, this this resource we are going to use in this plant. Okay. Normally, the available capacity is 8 hours. 8 hours daily. 8 hours. It has to work daily 8 hours. But what we get the production here, we don't get the production plan. If we get the production plan, let me select the production plan we get. Select. Here we don't have any production plan. Let me show you some other example. Yeah, he had 1,000 and 2,000. Just take this three instead of TD1. There is some issues that will not going to be updated. I'm just taking the past results. Take it past results. If you see here, mm, here we have the production order as 60 third. For 30th we have the order as 60. 60 is going to produce it. If any, for example, if the capacity is overloaded, it get overloaded. What will happen? Here it will mark. Here we are not going to see. Here we are not going to see. But normally in the real time, if capacity gets overloaded, here we get it will be highlighted as a red mark. To correct that capacity overload, we have the here capacity planning. We have one tab is here we have the capacity leveling one option. Okay. Okay. To achieve this capacity leveling option we have here. With this capacity leveling, so just if the forward scheduling, which means that whatever values get overloaded, if you want to run for the next days, we just click on the forward scheduling. No, if you want to run on previous runs in the past periods, but which means uh, it will display the results of the future results. No, if I want this from today onwards, then we can select backward scheduling. Otherwise, no, you want to run for both combination, just select the both combination. Normally, the combined forward and backward will be selected in the real time. Okay, just click and execute. It will going to distribute for all things. Will execute it. Then if you check the results, it's going to be equal distributed. Okay, here what we see here, what is capacity leveling will did it will level the capacity of the resource, but if normally initially the capacity has the resource has a capacity of to generate 2,000 quantity per day. But if you get the demand 6,000, 3,000 quantity is excess for the today. Sorry, 4,000 quantity is excess for today. To achieve that 4,000 quantity also, with the help of capacity leveling and with the help of the forward scheduling, backward scheduling, or a combination of forward and backward scheduling, we can transfer the results to the next periods by increasing the time run times. Like this we can maintain the production, maintain the capacity of the resource. Okay, this is about heuristic from my end. In simply let me conclude this session. Whatever in the DP we have to create it, everything we have to create it, but in the SNP we should not create anything. Whatever thing is available, you have just to monitor. Everything is standard in the SNP. There is no need to create from our end. Okay, and this is about from my end for today. Thank you.